What's going on? Not guilty boys. Check it back in. We are live tonight, my people. We are live on every single platform that you can think of: YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Kith,
Yeah.
you name it. We on there live tonight. Hey, what up, Waddy? How you feeling, brother?
Oh man, I feel good, man. It's all good, baby. You ready?
Yeah, I feel great. We are
Cause really, you was in the courtroom, man. I ain't gonna stunt
yeah,
for any people. You was in there.
we are elated, because we got a good ruling today in the motion to recuse Judge Roach in the Carmelo Anthony case in Collin
Hmm.
County. And I want to say first of all, I want to shout out Carmelo Anthony's defense team, Russell Wilson and his team, and the job that they did today was immaculate. They deserve their flowers. We
Yeah.
can't remiss how great of a job and how awesome of a job Russell Wilson did explaining very simplistic the law and applying it to the facts of this case and what happened. So today, the motion for recusal. I got there about 7 o'clock. Saw some familiar faces in the hallway as we waited. As we waited, Collin County was on that this morning, as I expected. My sister actually went out there at 4:30 this morning because she figured that the lines would be long. Well, the lines wasn't just necessarily crazy long, but there was officers already in the parking lot at 4:30 this morning, just kind of on alert. When I get there, one of the first thing I see is the officers' presence, and they're trying to set a tone. There was no recording allowed. People couldn't bring their cell phones into the building. People were told at the door, you got to take your cell phones, you got to take your smartwatches, the metal glasses, you got to take them off. There's no recording in the hallway. I did see one lady. She kind of was, kind of going, kind of out there with her recording, and they made her leave. She had some kids with her too. They made her leave. They told her to leave or go to jail. There was one officer walking around with this big, long AR assault rifle
Hmm.
across his chest, trying to
I
intimidate
saw
people.
him.
They was trying to set a tone, but when we went into the overflow room, of course there was some technical difficulties at first. Boys and girls is getting antsy about the technical difficulties in the overflow room. But what I liked about this and how Russ handled this today from a legal aspect, and Drew, you didn't see this, is he treated it like a formality. YD, like a when we talk about, some administrator here suggests formality. I
Right.
feel like Russ knew that the law and the facts was on their side in this motion for recusal. And this was a formality to Russ. That's why, we tested this morning. He told us off the top, hey, this is going to be very short. We applying the video, we're going to the law, and we getting up out of there. Well, when you think about it, then I caught the theme of the day and I made a post about it on Facebook before I went in. Res ispa locator. That's a
Hmm.
legal term and a Latin term that we learned in law school that means that the thing speaks for itself. And that was
Right.
the thing that Russell went with today. The interview that Judge Roach gave on WAFA, or whatever it's called, on the news, 2 days after the
Yeah.
Carmelo Anthony verdict speaks for itself. His statements in the media showed that he was biased, and it showed that he was prejudiced. And Russell knew that going in, and he knew that he had that, and that was his whole plan. We gonna play this video. We gonna play this video, Drew, and then I'm gonna argue what he said and how it shows that he can't be fair, and how it shows that he gives off the appearance of impropriety. So Russell argued judicial canon 2A. He argued judicial canon, I want to say 28, that says that a judge should not even give a public statement while there's an ongoing proceeding, basically. Well, I mean, Judge Roach should have anticipated that 2 days after the verdict is still within the time frame of the 30 days that you have to file a motion for new trial after a
Right.
verdict, after judgment comes out. So Judge Roach should have anticipated that if a motion for new trial would be filed, he would be the one that would have to hear that motion for new trial. Well, since he made those statements 2 days after the verdict within that 30-day time frame, basically he recused himself. He showed that
Facts.
he showed that he's no longer qualified to be impartial on this case because he thought, in his own words, that Carmelo Anthony was a nice young man who committed a crime. So
Yeah.
I took 4 pages worth of notes today, Drew, and one of the main things that stood out to me was the judge's statement. See, I listened to that interview, but sometimes when I watch this stuff for too long, it just kind of get to my mental, and I just can't. It just I can't keep watching it. So watching Judge Roach interview when it happened, I watched maybe about 2 or 3 minutes of it. I knew what he was on. I didn't need to see no more. But today I
Right.
actually listened to some of the things he said. Check out what he was saying. First of all, he said Collin County is a well-oiled machine. Well, let's talk about it. A well-oiled machine. Okay, cases are supposed to be fair. There's supposed to be no ex parte communication, right? The
Right.
judge is not even supposed to know any of the facts of the case. Okay, he may know that this is a high-profile case, but he shouldn't know any facts of the case, right? The fact that Judge Roach took all the steps he did to limit the public access, to limit the people's ability to see what was going on and hear what was going on in that
Mm-hmm.
trial, and how he thanked his staff and thanked everyone in that interview and wrote a thank you letter shows that he felt like they executed that plan very well. That's what he means by a well-oiled machine. Hey, when we
Right.
run the play, we ran the play perfectly.
All the way through. Yeah.
And if we want to give a fair trial the way we want to give a fair trial, that's how we're gonna give a fair trial. He said that Collin County should be the model of how high-profile cases should be tried in this state. Listen, I tried several cases in several counties. Collin County may be one of the last county I want to try cases in,
Yeah.
especially
Really.
a high-profile case. So I find that very laughable. He said that he followed the law to the T. Well, we know that's not true because you gave some made up jury instruction about Carmelo Anthony provoking his own difficulty, which
I'm
is
sure that'll come
nowhere in
out tomorrow.
which is no that's gonna come out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Nowhere in the penal code, and a jury instruction is supposed to track the penal code. Well, the proper language is 9.31 and 9.32. Judge, that's what should be in the jury instruction, not something you made up. You didn't follow the law. You didn't follow the law when it came down to giving Carmelo the right to a fair trial and allowed it to be a public trial. Well, we know you didn't do that because you only gave 27 seats and gave people 10 minutes to get in. And you was closing the door after 10 minutes and no media,
Right.
so it wasn't a public trial. So you did
Right.
not follow the law to the T. He said, "I'm proud of this." He said, "I'm handsome."
No,
Now,
he
Judge Roach,
no, he didn't say that.
I'm gonna let you have that. But that shows you what kind of man he is. He said he was handsome. He said social media get it wrong, and they don't know what they're talking about. He said, "I never seen a case like this." And he also said, "I'm very proud of my county and all of the employees." And he said he felt like the jury got it right. Well,
Of course it does.
because those statements was made only 2 days after the verdict, then Judge, you have disqualified yourself. So that's
Yeah.
why today was so quick. That's why Russell, I thought that was very strategic. I thought it was tactful, and I thought it was genius to treat it like a formality. What do you mean like a formality? You know, when you get fired at your job, per se. Okay, you get fired. You get the right to have a administrative hearing about your position. And it's
Right.
more like a rubber stamp hearing. They gonna
That's
give you
it.
your hearing, but they already know that they mind made up. Okay.
Bro, you
But
walk in the room, they sitting on one side, the whole other side of the table empty,
come
so
on
you
now.
can sit there Come on, man. You gotta
Come on
formality.
now. Or if you get in trouble
Formality.
at school and now they try to bring you to the deans, down to the
Yeah.
disciplinary committee, and now they try to discipline you and kick you out of school for something you did in school. That's a formality too. Their minds is already made up. So Russell treating this like a formality, like Judge, this video is so egregious, it's so far out there, and it goes so far against what a judge should be doing. You really have no choice but to recuse him. So I'm just gonna play this video and I'm gonna talk about the things he said, and I'm just gonna argue the law, and I'm gonna get up out of here. What do you think about that strategy, Waddy?
Well, first of all, you know we know Russ. You know what I'm saying? So he ain't doing nothing but being Russ, honestly. But you know, y'all gotta understand. I want to get this straight. He didn't call no witnesses, did he? Did he call any
No, he didn't call
witnesses?
no witness. My bad. He didn't call no witness.
That's cold. Y'all gotta understand the lead up to this and how big this is. You know, it's a small step, but it's a big step. And he did it with no witnesses. And that's who
No
Russ is. And
witness.
that's what I was trying to tell y'all. He like a tactician. He gonna go straight to the law. I mean, even Mike, if you remember, when he was representing us for contempt, you know, charges that got dismissed, by the way. Um, Me and Mike were trying to represent ourselves at first. You see, then we brought Russ in, excuse me. And we trying to argue everything. You know, we trying to fight. You know what I'm saying? Russ just you know, straight to the gut. You see what I'm saying? He went in there and made 1 or 2 points. 1 or 2 points, and that was it. You see what I mean? So, you know, I think that was a very good strategy. It wasn't no, it sounds like it wasn't any fluff today. It sounds like he came in there and you know and went straight to the good stuff. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, he did. He did. No other attorney. It was five other attorneys there. No other attorney talked. Russ had his PowerPoint. He was very to the point, and
Oh,
that's
he
how
went
you got to be when
PowerPoint.
you know you in your bag and you know the law in your favor. You ain't got to
Right.
go in there doing all that dancing and putting on the show. Just get straight to the law and argue what you know.
Less
And
is
he did.
more, law students. Tell them less is more.
Yeah, he did really good today. So shout out Russell. So after that, we come to find out that okay, Judge Roach is recused. Now,
Mhm.
the judge that heard the recusal hearing today, um, he's from San Antonio. He's not from here. He said something in his ruling. It was kind of confusing because first he said, um, "Well, I don't feel that, and I'm not going to entertain if this judge violated any judicial canons." Well, that sounds like another judge looking out for another judge. That sounds like a fraternity, brotherhood, good old boy type of ordeal. Yeah, he committed some violations against the judicial canon, but you're not going to even consider that. Okay,
Because
but
we
he
don't want
said
that on the record. We don't want that on anybody's record.
right. But he said, however, I do feel, and he said, I do feel that he could be fair in a motion for new trial. But however, that's not the standard here. The standard is whether the public gets the appearance that he cannot be impartial. And he said, I feel like that's the case. And that's why he recused Judge Roach because he said the appearance of impropriety is there. So, for the judge to protect him under the judicial canons and then come back and say, yeah, he did come off as if he was biased. And, I guess, that's splitting the baby. That's what they always do. Let me protect him, but give y'all what y'all want. But,
I don't like
you
that,
know, yeah, I don't never like the old split the baby
man.
judges. I ain't down with the split the baby. It's either he did or he didn't. But you know, I don't think that should stop the Carmelo Anthony family or anybody from going after him and file a judicial complaint for what he did.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The fact that he got recused might be even more fuel to that fire. And
Yeah.
I'll be in Collin County tomorrow. Don't get it twisted. I'm actually in front of Judge Roach in the 296. I got a plea in this court tomorrow.
I was there Monday, man. It was I.
Hopefully that goes well. But
Yeah.
then we learn maybe an hour or two later, oh, I forgot about the celebration. Hey, the people showed up. Y'all look good in y'all purple today.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was a powerful statement. I made a statement on my live that, Carmelo needed to see this. I know he couldn't see it, but hopefully he felt it in the spirit that we was out there and because we look good today. Even you know, we might not always see eye to eye, but when we come together on this today, as a people, we look good. And I think we need to continue to move like that. It's gonna take that
Yeah.
type of movement to move some
So
things the way we want it to go. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the people who showed up in support of Carmelo today. Then we learned that Judge is his name Shitty or Chitty? Well, Judge Chitty, Michael Chitty from Kaufman, is now the judge assigned to hear the motion for new trial tomorrow.
mhm.
Okay, the motion for new trial is tomorrow. I don't know anything about Judge Chitty. I don't know anything about it. I never been before him before. Never had a case in this court. I've read some things about him in my research on him. It seemed like he got mixed reviews. So we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see. I heard he don't play. I heard he's down. He likes to hold people feet to the fire when it comes to the law and making them prove what the burden of proof is. The burden of proof will be on Carmelo Anthony's defense team tomorrow. So I know Russell can handle the task. Russell and his team can handle the task. They're going off of four things, the reasons that they're asking for a motion for new trial. Number one, the judge limiting the access to the public and going against Carmelo's Sixth Amendment right to a fair and public trial. They're going off of the gentleman's agreement that they say the state um, induced Mike Howard into agreeing
Yep.
to, and then later reneged on and end up coercing. They made the argument that what the prosecutor did was coercion in convincing Carmelo Anthony not to take the stand.
Right.
Which we're gonna see how that argument go tomorrow. That's gonna be a good argument to hear how it goes. The third one being that what was it? Limited public access, the gentleman's agreement, and there's one more, Drew.
It was a catch-all. It's a catch-all, ain't it?
There's a catch-all. That's the fourth one in the interest of justice. But it's one more fundamental argument. It'll come to me. But they have four different grounds that they're asking for this recusal. Oh, excuse me, this motion for new trial. Judge Chitty, and they will call witnesses tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a lot longer than it was today. Judge Chitty has to make his ruling before August 23rd. That is the 75th day from the June 9th or whenever the verdict was for Carmelo. I'm sorry, it's late at night. My dates and everything messing with me. But whenever the verdict was, it'll be the 75th day from that day. And that's when the motion for new trial has to be ruled on, or basically it's denied automatically. So I'm sure Russell's going to put pressure on Judge to make a very fast ruling. If he rules the motion for new trial to be granted, then that means basically Carmelo gets a do over. Okay, he gets a do over. Okay, that means he comes back to Collin County. That don't mean he get out of jail. That means he comes back to Collin County. He's housed in Collin County jail until he gets another trial. Probably had a pre-trial date and then a trial. And Judge Chitty probably is going to be assigned to this case to hear that trial. Okay. And also, if he denies the motion for new trial, then it automatically goes to the Fifth Court of Criminal Appeals on appeal. So we were very excited today. Tomorrow's going to be a lot more tense. We just got to continue to pray and continue to show up and support Carmelo Anthony and his defense team. Um, I wanted to answer some of your questions, but before I do that, Drew, I'm gonna let you jump in there and get whatever comments you want to say about today.
I mean, I think it's a big deal. I just want everybody to stay grounded and understand that this is a small part of the process. It's a big win. I said it again. It's a big win, but the appeals process is a long process. Now, tomorrow, if it gets granted, hey man, I think that's just what everybody been hoping for, right then and there. But understand the way the law works is, you know, if it doesn't, he still we still have a process. So I just want y'all to be mindful and hopeful and prayerful and understand that, we just got to continue to fight. This ain't the only fight today, is what I'm saying. But nah, man, I already know. I ain't even have to be in there. I wish I was in there. But I know how, I know how Russ did, man. It was probably pretty captivating. It was probably persuasive enough, for the judge to, go ahead and do what he did. Honestly, I don't think the judge gave Russ nothing. I think I think Russ went and took something, and and,
as he
and I hope
should.
he, as he should. I hope he does that tomorrow. Did you mention one of those arguments to be the jury charge?
That's what it was. The fourth one. Shout out to the chat. It's the jury instruction, and that's a big argument. I think that
Yeah,
may be the winning argument because
I do
that
too.
is not in the
I do
penal
too.
code, and
It
the
is not.
jury instruction has to track the penal code. I know that for a fact.
Y'all
I
have
know
to
that for a fact.
understand. Y'all have to understand the jury charge is the jury can only use what's in between those four corners of paper to decide their verdict. Okay, so it's very important. If there's something in there that shouldn't be in there, that had a substantial effect on how they, you know, ended up coming back guilty, or that's a really big deal. Um, I wonder how they're gonna pull that off, though, man. You think because tomorrow's gonna be plenty of witnesses. I would assume tomorrow is gonna be much longer than it was today.
I wonder
Today
if
we
Mike
probably knew it
Howard
was gonna
gonna
be
be a
quick.
witness. I wonder if Mike Howard gonna be a witness. See, right now they ain't through the
No,
ineffective assistance of counsel out there. I see some
mm-mm,
people asking about it. They ain't
mm-mm.
through ineffective assistance of counsel out there. But maybe because
Maybe
Mike
he
Howard could,
cooperating.
well, if he cooperates, is he gonna be willing to get on the stand and say what he wrote in that affidavit?
I don't
That's what
think
the
so
people want to see
because
tomorrow.
all roads lead to me. All
Well,
roads
let's
kind of lead to ineffective.
let's think about it. He was exhibit in their motion for new trial, right? His affidavit was a
Yeah,
sworn
yeah,
exhibit. He's already that's basically testimony. Um, I don't, that could come in maybe with a BRA, but I don't know if it come in without him getting on the stand and testifying to that. So
right,
it's a good chance we could see Mike Howard tomorrow. If I'm Carmelo Anthony, the defense team, I asked him the hard questions. I
for
asked him all
sure,
the hard questions. And
for
Mike
sure.
Howard would need to say that the DA tricked him, but I don't know if that's enough for a motion for new trial. But if you could say, well, they coerced me, all of that type of stuff, then maybe. But also on top of that, Mike Howard, I still want to know if you accuse of these people of prosecutorial misconduct, why haven't you went and filed a grievance against them?
You
Will
know
it be
why, Mike?
moved to a different court in the same county? It's gonna be in the
Yeah.
same court, same county. Why isn't the original footage considered new evidence? Oh, let me say this: motion for new trial cannot include new evidence. Well, it can include. Excuse me, I said that all the way wrong. Motion for new trial, it cannot. No, it cannot. Cause right, am I right, Drew? It cannot consider any
What?
new evidence. It has to be what's in the record.
I
It has
believe
to be
so.
what's in the record. Yeah, that's
I
right.
believe so.
It has to be what's in the record. Uh, so if he gets a new trial, can y'all represent him? If the motion is approved, can they immediately request a change of venue? They can request a change of venue if the motion is granted. Um, People keep asking about the change of venue. I didn't see if ineffective assistance of counsel or anything related to jury selection appeal document. I don't right. I don't think they put that in the motion for new trial. I think they're going to try to use Mike Howard
Right,
as a witness.
right.
Um,
And I thought about
so
that. That's over with now, right? Yeah, I take back those statements about the ineffective assistance because since they didn't make the argument in the petition, that's over with.
yeah, yeah, that's over with. That's
Unless
over.
his client goes to the bar or something and says something, but that would be something different.
Right. And
Right.
I wonder if his client knew about that agreement. That'd be something I want to bring out as well. Can y'all put it out there how to report the judge? Okay, if you want to file a grievance against the prosecutor, you file that with the state bar. You want to
Hmm.
file a grievance against the judge, you file it with the
Judiciary.
board of judiciary conduct.
Yep.
Board of judiciary conduct. Why would Why would have been the correct jury instruction? What would have been the correct jury instruction versus what he gave? Okay, so the correct jury instruction would have been that he's entitled to the presumption of reasonableness when it comes to self defense, as long as he wasn't committing a crime,
Yep.
as long as he was legally in the place he was supposed to be, and as long as he didn't provoke the person. Okay, and the incorrect jury thing that the judge gave him was the provoking a difficulty, which is actually not in the code. So that's common law. That's old common law that they put in the jury charge that's not supposed to be in the jury charge. So that's why I
Right.
think that's the strongest argument. What was the agreement? The agreement was that we won't go into the twins'
Yeah.
propensity to be aggressive or violent.
Right.
We won't go into none of the twins' background or any negative things
And you
about the
can't go into
twins.
his.
If y'all don't go into anything negative about Carmelo and his background, which it wasn't too much negative about Carmelo that
Right.
Mike Howard should have been worried about. That's why you don't make agreements with the prosecutors. They can't use evidence about Austin now because it was in the motion also. Yeah, I mean they can bring it out through Mike Howard how he was duped into not bringing it out. So I guess they can quasi get it out there, but it's
Right.
more so about the agreement that the state reneged on more so than about the
Then he
evidence
making
against
the agreement.
Austin's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thoughts
that's
on Chitty? I don't know anything about it. I'm gonna be
yeah.
glued in just like you, or to see if he gonna do
Right.
the right thing.
But
Uh,
we'll know real quick. I mean, I think with the way Russell works, someone that you got judges that need that case law in front of them. You see what I'm saying? You got judges that need to see it in black and white. Somebody like that, because Russell gonna give you that. Somebody like that, I think that'll be a good look for him.
Somebody asked, "How did Carmelo look today?" Shout out to Russ, man, asking the judge to take them chains and shackles off that young man in front of his family and in front of everybody. Just try not to disgrace him right now. And shout out to Judge to saying he didn't see any reason for it being on, but Carmelo looked poised today. Um, he looked calm, so he looked to be in good spirits. So let's just keep praying for him because we can only imagine what he's going through. If y'all got his information, write that boy a letter, man. I think he in Collin County. Y'all try to go visit him if y'all can. I don't see why not. What type of witnesses would be called tomorrow? What's the time frame for the judge to rule on a new trial? He has until August 23rd to make the
Yep.
ruling. I believe they subpoenaed some of the media people for Collin County. I think the judge has a public information person, officer. Why the judge has a public information officer? The judge seems just too much worried about what's going on in social media, what's going on in the news. He just seemed too in tune to that. When Drew, me and you heard judges say, I don't care about Facebook. I don't care
Hmm.
about what's going on Instagram. I care
Right.
about what's going on in this trial. Do you think they would
Dealing with
use Roach
accused
as a
judges.
witness? Absolutely not. Absolutely
No.
not.
Uh-uh.
But yeah, we just want to hop on and answer some of y'all questions. It's late, so forgive us for our inaccuracies tonight, our mistakes. But we're gonna be up bright and early. We was up early this morning. We're gonna be up bright and early tomorrow morning. Headed out to Collin County to support again.
Yep.
Y'all get there early. It's only about 40 tickets they giving out to get in the courtroom, and it's only about 150 seats in the overflow room. So you got to get there early. Uh, so we try to answer as many questions as we can. We can't answer them all. So y'all just blame it on our time and not our hearts, our mind. Drew, you got any final words?
No, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in. We're gonna be going live like this more and more often. Kind of getting the hang of this thing. So y'all just roll with us, man. But continue to subscribe to Not Guilty Boys on YouTube, um, Facebook, Instagram. We'll see y'all there tomorrow. We're gonna keep informing y'all. No, straight to it, man. No fluff at all. Okay. What you got, Mike?
I'm just laughing because I know we tired, bro. I can tell in your voice, bro. We tired. We finna go to bed, y'all. We check it out. Not guilty, boys. We'll see y'all in court tomorrow, and we'll hop back on maybe tomorrow and talk about the how the motion for new trial here went. Y'all have a good night.
Peace.